Take your dealership to the next level with over 6,800 on-air interviews with dealer and industry leaders. CBT News, dealers' most trusted source for news, content, and analysis. Welcome to CBT News with Cheyenne Malone.
Hey everyone, oh yes, we made it to Friday. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Let's get a look at today's top stories.
General Motors will pay a $145.8 million penalty after government investigations finds excess emissions in 5.9 million vehicles. An EPA investigation revealed GM vehicles from 2012 to 2018 emitted over 10% more carbon dioxide than reported. In addition to the penalties, the NHTSA announced the cancellation of over 30.6 million corporate average fuel economy credits issued to General Motors. Fisker seeks bankruptcy judge approval to sell over 3,000 Ocean electric SUVs at $14,000 each to a vehicle leasing company. Pending a judge's approval, Fisker will sell 3,321 electric vehicles to New York City-based American Lease for $46.25 million. All Fisker Oceans will be used for rideshare and vehicle rental services in the New York City market. Mullen Automotive announces their first commercial electric vehicle sale in Massachusetts. The sale comes as a part of a new partnership with the national retailer Eco Auto that was announced earlier in June. The initial delivery is for a Class 1 EV cargo van sold to a Massachusetts-based company specializing in renovations and property management systems. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next is Melinda Zabritsky with Experian. We'll be right back.
Take your dealership to the next level with over 6,800 on-air interviews with dealer and industry leaders. CBT News, dealers' most trusted source for news, content, and analysis.
The report highlighted the rebound of new vehicle inventory, and how has this affected the lender market share?
Well, like you mentioned, captives just soared to the #1 position for new. We saw a lot of incentives that really started last quarter, but first quarter they just dominated with over 60% share for new, and that's the highest we've seen it in about 10 years.
And why is that, do you think?
Well, with the rates being what they are, the lower rates coming in with the incentives that they had, just really were very appealing to consumers, and consumers took advantage of it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, how did new vehicle inventory impact the leasing in this last quarter?
Yeah, so with inventory being nicely balanced, we're starting to see more leasing. When it was very tight, leasing had dropped down to around 17, 18%. And now it's back to around 24%, which is typically what we would see at about 15 years ago or so.
And are you continuing to see loan amounts stabilize?
We are. That was a great thing that we saw in the first quarter, and we started to see it towards the end of last year. We're no longer seeing the loan amounts just jump dramatically year over year. For new vehicles, it's been hovering right around $40,000. It's a little lower this quarter than it was last year. And even used loan amounts are also stabilizing and have actually come down from last year as well.
No, that's good. And how is this influencing average monthly payments? I know they're north of $700 now on new cars, right?
Yeah, they certainly are. The monthly payments for new have been really hovering around $732, $735 for the last couple quarters. It was $735 this quarter. Despite some of the loan amounts coming down a little, some of those high interest rates are keeping the payments, in that $700 range. And interestingly enough, the terms are also coming down a little bit, especially the incentives that we saw were shorter terms. And across all loans, we're seeing consumers opt to take slightly shorter terms. And I think that's really the result of the rates being what they are, of consumers just looking to pay the least amount of interest possible.
Well, that does it for us today. But remember, it is easy to stay up to date with the most recent news and trends influencing the retail automotive industry. All you have to do is follow us. We're on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Thanks so much for watching. You have a good one.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content.